Using a prized possession template is a great way to grab your verbal history of family prized possessions and keep them in your family groups folder on your USB. There is another way though, and that's using pin interest. So in this blog article, I'm going to show you how you can use a pin board to do the same thing as using a word template to gather those important family stories about your prized possessions. Look, it may sound silly, but in 100 years' time, if this is still within our family, it'd be really good to be able to pass on the true details of how this managed to stay in the family so long. This typewriter's been in our family for well over 70 years now, so it's worth keeping these stories straight for future generations to know.
Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can use pin interest to also capture your family knowledge about prized possessions for your family group. So the first step you need to do is create a family group board for your prized possessions. Let's do that now. I'm going to be using my mother's birth group because that's the group that she belonged to when she bought the typewriter. So G for group, and then it's my grandfather's surname followed by my grandmother's surname, maiden name. They were married in 1931, and the group is the family group prized possession board. And then just update the board with the description. Okay, what kind of board it is. I just make this at other at the moment because it's containing family prized possessions. It's up to you whether you make this board secret. I recommend making it secret, obviously, because you're storing your family prized possessions, and you can invite other family members to join the board, and you can collaborate on the board and share possession pins. Even though you don't have the possession, you can share possessions amongst the family this way. So we've created the board. Now once you've set up your family group prized possession board, it's just a matter of going to the Soul Assets pin site. We'll go to Soul Assets, and in Soul Assets I've set up a pin interest family knowledge process board, which explains the how-to. If you're not familiar with setting up a family group code, might be a good idea to also pin this to your family group board for your prized possessions, so you've got a record of it. And we're also going to grab the prized possessions knowledge pin, which has the template instructions on how to do this and how to save stories of your family prized possessions. So we'll pin that one as well. And done. We'll go back to my individual website, and here we have the family, my mum's family birth group for prized possession boards. So now you've loaded the prized possession knowledge pin and the family group pin, you'll notice that there's a narrative down below here, and this is what you're going to be using to document your family stories. What I suggest is that where you've got the PP owner, because you know it's belonging to this family group, is that you just go into the template and you just add the family group code in there, the first part of the family group code, and leave those two blank. And then when you keep using the pin over and over again, it'll save you from typing that in over and over. Now you're ready to load. Let's load the typewriter onto this family group board. So before you load your first pin, grab the text that's underneath the prized possession pin, Control C on your keyboard to copy that, and now you're ready to add a pin. So if you go to your device and choose an image. Now I'm using the family knowledge process, so as you're aware, that process is I've already taken digital images of some prized possessions within this family group, and it's sitting within the prized possession folder for this family group. So family group, the family group code, the prized possession folder, and a subfolder where the photos are. In the main folder, I keep PDF files of any receipts or documents that relate to those prized possessions. So if we now grab the Underwood number 5 and open that, and then if you Control V to load that, then you can add the details about the family story, about why this prized possession is still in your your family. So the established year for this was 1949. I know that because my mum told me that that's when she bought the typewriter, because she was actually in business college and she used this to get her through business college. The prized possession name is Underwood number 5. The prized possession owner was my mum, and so she's that family group code, and she's 03, code 03, and now it's all ready to be pinned on to the board. It's a great way of documenting for that family group details of that. Rather than using the full template that's also available on the Soul Assets website, this is another way that you can do it. The disadvantages here obviously is that there's only so much text you can put in there. I'm now going to go through and load other pins I'm on a roll. So again, so let's just add another pin. I'm going to load my grandmother's milk jug. And isn't it funny what families pass on through time? This is my grandmother's milk jug, as I said. The reason this is a miracle that it actually came through on the family was she tended to throw things at my grandfather when they got into a fight. So luckily this one wasn't. For this particular article, I don't know when it actually, I know it was when they were after they were married, but I don't know when they actually got the article, so we'll just put question mark next to that. Prized possession name, as I said, is a milk jug. The owner, well, that was my grandmother, so she was founder number 2 in the group. And the story, got a little story ready to go for that one, so we'll just paste that in, save you watching me typing it all the way through, and pin it. And there we have it, the second item. As you can see, for this family group now, we're building up an inventory of prized possessions, but also managing to keep the story that goes with that and identifying the original person that owned it. This is a great way of just quickly documenting some family history. It's also a great way of sharing with your siblings. If you you didn't get that prized possession but your sibling got it, you can at least have a pin of it. It's also great for insurance purposes. Should the item become lost or stolen, you've got a record of it sitting there that you can go to the police with and say, well, this is what the item looked like. And of course, if there was a fire or anything, and worst thing is that you lost those items, you've got it on this prized possession board. Happy pinning, and I hope this prized possession knowledge pin helps you in documenting and keeping those important family stories about your treasured possessions. Thanks for watching.